So, Tony, for starters, we got a lot of questions. So I think we should take it from the top, right, so we can kind of get an understanding of who you are. So, for starters, what age were you when you realized that a regular 9 to 5 wasn't for you? And what do you recommend for others who like to just one day fire their boss? What would you recommend they do?
Okay. What age was I? So I was a kid. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was the kid with the lemonade stand and selling seashells by the seashore. So I always knew that I wanted to work for myself. What I didn't know was that a 9 to 5 wasn't for me. And what I mean by that is, I kind of grew up, you go to school, you go to college, you get a career, you work, and then you retire. And even though I knew that wasn't my path, I really didn't know that a 9 to 5 wasn't for me. It wasn't like this one point. So with me, I learned over time. So, I had my first job. I did the Anti-Graffiti Network in Philly, and painting over graffiti. I did the traditional jobs, working dishwasher and all that kind of stuff through high school, and it never felt right. It was uncomfortable. I finished college and I thought, well, I'm gonna get a job somewhere in management, because I always knew I wanted to be in business. I would climb the ladder, so to speak, put some money aside and start a business. But I couldn't really keep a job. It was very claustrophobic. It just felt terrible. As soon as I got there, I couldn't wait to get out. It was times where, I had jobs where, I'm in the bathroom crying because it just felt terrible. But me thinking that, no, you have to get a job, and even though it didn't feel right, I tried to force myself to kind of fit into society's norm, so to speak, and it just didn't work. So it was just drudging. It was just painful. But I thought something was wrong with me. Like, what's wrong with you? Who do you think you are? Just get a job and be normal. And again, after job, getting fired, I would start a business venture, learn some things. It wouldn't work, it would fail, and then I'm back at a job again. But it was terrible. So to answer the question, it wasn't a point that I really figured it out. It was life kind of kicking my butt every time I did get a job and try to fit into the norm. And I think it was life's way, or God's way, or the universe's way of kicking my butt for not doing what I was supposed to do, which is build business, be an entrepreneur, and do some of the things that I do now today. So it took time, and I think I finally got to a certain point where getting knocked over the head enough times where it was like, this really isn't for me. And even though everyone around me, family, friends, were like, they didn't understand it. I was very misunderstood, because I didn't even understand me either. So when would you say that, it was an epiphany or a light bulb, going through that 9 to 5 process, going through what's normal, so to speak, that, linear income or whatever is. When would you say that it was bing, this ain't what I'm supposed to do, and this is what I'm not going to do? Again, I got binged a couple times, and I think that, when you feel like, oh, you're responsible, I had children, so it's like, I got to a point where it was like, no, I have to get a job. I have mortgages and car notes, and so it's always been this internal, external fight back and forth. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to the same thing. Like, you might know in your heart, like, I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur, I'm supposed to be free, but at the same time, it's, dudes, you got bills, or girl, you got bills, you got responsibilities. So it's always been this seesaw kind of thing. And I think that somewhere in my adulthood, I realized, because I know the difference in how I felt. I had a store on South Street, and we weren't always making money, but even if I was broke, it felt good opening up the key to the store. The store could be empty, but I'm sweeping the floor. It's my floor, I'm stocking my shelf, and there was something to say about that sometimes only I could really understand. So again, it really wasn't a point. It was a journey over time, from circumstance after circumstance, and I finally got to a point where I got to a point where I understood that I had to burn the ship at the beach. And what that means is, there's a story of this captain, right? And they're going to war, but they're going to another country, and they take their ships, and they 20, 30 ships, and they pull up to the beach, and they're about to fight in this strange land. And so the troops, they get off, and they're ready to surge. And as they're about to run, the captain says, "Stop." And they look back, and he begins to torch all the ships and burnt them all to the ground. So now they don't even have a way to go back. So it's do or die. It's go forward or die. So I got to a point where I began to kind of champion that motto. So once I burned the ship at the beaches, then there's no turning back. Then that was it. And then I started to forge forward with no turning back, and that's when things started to just open up. Because when your back is against the wall and it's go and there is nothing, you'll find a way to make it happen, and that's what it was for me.
Well, that's an awesome analogy.
Now, the second part.
Yeah, the second part of that question is on my phone. I'm sorry. So the second part of that question is, what would you recommend for others who'd like to one day fire their boss? Somebody that is, in this position or unsure. What's your recommendation to that, that path? Because it sounds like it was a little bit, I don't know, maybe it's customary, customizable to each individual, but let us know what you would recommend.
I would recommend, it's a delicate balance that I would encourage people to take. Part of me wants to tell you, forget everything, just go after your dreams, and caution to the wind, and just do you. But I wouldn't tell you to do that. Entrepreneurship, it comes with a price. It's a blood sport. It is not this easy thing. I don't care how many courses you buy or books you read or motivational speeches you listen to in the morning, but it's very, very difficult. So I would encourage you, if you possibly can, find some sort of balance between, because you got to live. Like, you got to live. So you have to kind of, if possible, find something that you don't hate, that you can do to earn a living. And hopefully it's in the field that you want to start a business in, so that even though you might be working for somebody, you're in the game. If it's fashion, you're in it. You're seeing the inner workings. You're around it every day. And that might not be an easy thing to do. You might have to be a waiter while you really want a fashion business or get into tech or energy or whatever the case may be. But if you can find a way to earn a living while you still work on your dream, and hopefully there's enough income that you can pour into your dream, And that's really the best way to do it until you get to a point where you can launch your vision safely. Now that's a perfect world. It's not always reality. I mean, me, you know, I paid a heavy price. You know, I slept in my car. I've been broke. I've been hungry. I've had no money. There was times when $20 felt like I hit the lottery. I've been talked about, laughed at. I'm sure some people said I was crazy. I probably looked irresponsible to some people at times.
Or misunderstood.
You're going to beat yourself up. I know I beat myself up. You're going to feel like, you know, you're going to feel envy if you see other people that you might feel you're better than, that's doing better than you. So you're going to deal with all kinds of emotions. You know, but it's going to be a tough journey. But I would tell you two things. There's a price to success, and it's a heavy price. But there's also a price to never accomplish your dreams or even try. Both of them are heavy prices, and you're going to pay one or the other. You just got to choose which one you want to pay for. At least following your dreams, if you don't make it, you will make it. You know, if you just don't quit. I mean, you will make it if you don't quit. If you do the right things, if you do things the right way, if you study your craft, and you keep trying to better yourself, you know, then you will make it. You don't have a choice not to make it. But if you don't do anything at all, you're going to live with regret. Like I tell people all the time, like, I mean, I'm fortunate to have the wife that I have, but, you know, we say all the time, if we lose everything and we on the side of the street, if you see us on the side of the street with a cup asking for change, it's all right. As long as we got each other, it was worth the journey. You know, we've done a lot of things, and win, lose, or fail, at least we could say we did them. You know, we could say we've done a lot and even failed at a lot of things that some people didn't even try. So, you know, I'm at peace with that. You know, I can rest in my grave with that. You know, I try to live life by my own terms, you know, and, you know, whatever it is what it is. But I'm listening to me. I don't want to leave this earth feeling unfulfilled because, you know, I did what this one said and that one did and this one said and that one said, and I never did what I said. You know, but you won't be able to say that about me. So,
well, Tony Pitts, an awesome question. Two awesome questions, I should say. It was like question 1 and question 1A. Thank you who sent that in. I won't say any names, but if you have any questions in regards to the topic that Tony spoke about, please don't hesitate to leave a comment or reach out to Mr. Pitts.
And any question, you know, anything business related or personal development related, you know, if people don't know, a lot of people, only people that know me know. All right, my car got something to say. But I've done a lot. You know, I owned a nightclub. I had a footwear store in Philly. I had one in Miami. We was opening up in Rodeo Drive in LA. I have a background in the music business. I put out records. I promoted records. A lot. Fashion. And I'm sure I'll get questions that's going to open up a little bit more.
Yes, there are questions that are coming in. Yeah. And we are going to wrap up this episode of Ask Tony. Ask Tony these questions that y'all got about business and stuff. We appreciate, you know, all your answers and all your help.